Hi. Some Phase 1s can be a few feet thick, really, but someone who knows what to look for can decipher it to find out useful information for you. If, on the other hand, for example, the property in question is a small shopping center or strip mall, and it had or has a dry cleaner, the Phase 1 could be written on the back of an envelope. You will need a Phase 2, which means further investigations will be required. I'm not being flippant. The probability of needing to do further soil and groundwater investigations is high in the vicinity of a dry cleaning machine. The question is, what would your lender want? But since you may have ordered or at least reviewed a Phase 1 report, it may provide unintended information. As an example, I was asked to review a Phase 1 for a family property that was changing ownership within the family due to retirements, etc. The property was a smaller Home Depot or Lowe's, but one of the photos in the Phase 1 showed propane tanks within the retail space that were located within a pile of haystacks. I suggested that if they had a fire, they may not be insured. It was an accident waiting to happen, and the documentation was within the Phase 1. Specifically, the history of ownership on site, that is, the chain of title, is both useful and important. Was there a laboratory, a meth lab, a dry cleaner, an oil repair shop, a gas station, or have there been any underground tanks located on the property? If the type of business indicates that there may have been underground tanks or residual evidence of leakage, you need to find out if there is documentation that the tanks were removed, or if they are still there, are the operating permits up to date and in compliance with current regulations. The Phase 1 may not have this data. If the report was written quickly, the company writing it may not have received any response from their inquiries to the appropriate regulatory authorities, if they were even inquired. You may need to follow up to do your own due diligence. In Los Angeles, for example, the fire department underground storage tank records are still on paper, and there is only one person assigned to check. The records have not been digitized. And even if you find the records, you need to know what to look for. I had one case where the lender was holding up the loan on an existing office building until they had evidence that an underground storage tank was removed in 1933. I got the paper records. The evidence was on the permit. The fire inspector had not noted any evidence of leakage. It was enough for the lender, but you needed to know that the blank flip side of the permit was the evidence they needed to fund the loan. One last note. When it comes to protecting public health and welfare, there is no grandfathering of regulations. What I mean is, just because you had historically been complying with the regulations does not mean that you're in compliance with current regulations, which is significant. This is Dr. Bart Sokolow. I'll see you next time.